Hello again, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Game Pass Grab Bag, your weekly podcast reviewing games from the Game Pass collection, bringing you three unique perspectives from varying skill range. I'm the Anthony Hawk of this episode, Andrew. With me are Rod Mullet Keith
Hello.
and our Bam Marinara, Aaron.
Hey.
This week, we played Anthony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4. We got to use
Are you going to do that the whole episode?
I mean,
Yep.
His name is Anthony.
I know, but I'm just like, are we going to do that the whole
Keith.
time?
Keith, Tony is a nickname for Anthony. Did you know that?
I am aware.
His
So-
mother didn't carry him for 9 months just for him to be called Tony. She gave him the name Anthony, and we are going to respect her wishes.
That makes sense to me. It makes sense. Keith, that is his name. So
She
Actually,
carried
I
him.
actually don't know if it actually is.
She carried him for 1 month for every 100 degrees that he turned.
I don't I mean, it's got to be Anthony, right?
That's what I'm assuming. I feel like we should maybe Google it.
What?
No, don't
is
Google this. Don't
Tony
Google this.
Hawk's
This is not
full
the
name?
integrity of this
Anthony?
podcast.
Dude, what would you think his middle name is if you were to guess?
Jonas.
Andrew?
Jose.
Frank. Not Frank.
true?
Just Frank. Anthony Frank Hawk.
That's sick.
That's actually a kind of
I
cool.
would, I would go by Frank, honestly.
Frank is a cool middle name.
But anyway, we played Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4. Before we start, I just want to quickly remind everyone, please make sure you go to www.gamepassgrabbag.com. Check out our awesome website if you want to see our reviews from our past games that we've done. Also, we'll have our link to our link tree in the description. So if you want to come join us on our Discord or our Reddit or our YouTube or whatever, you can find all our links there. But let's get into this of whether or not we would think this is a game or a pass. I will kick this off. For me, this is a game. I was going to say, when I first was playing this, I was like, man, is this just a product of its time? Because I remember when I was a kid, I loved this game. I'm going to say, I actually think the Tony Hawk series is, generation defining. Like, we're going to get into this because obviously we're going to talk about some of our history here, but this game really shaped a lot of people, and it honestly shaped the sport. It shaped gaming because, like, and anybody who usually talks about Nintendo 64 in that area always talks about Tony Hawk's games. And I'm like, does this game still hold up after all this time? And the first time I was playing this, I was like, eh. But then as I kept playing, I was like, okay, no, this is actually a lot of fun. I miss this game. This game is cool. It definitely feels almost, with today's standards, feels like an arcade game. Something somebody would whip up in, a year or two on their computer by themselves. So for modern gaming today, it's kind of a little dated, but I still think this is a blast. This is a easy, relaxing game, and they're quick. So yeah, game.
So you unintentionally kind of pointed out, I think, one of my biggest or main gripes with Tony Hawk is really just, or with this Tony Hawk, an instance of it, is that it just felt like I was replaying the old ones. And there was, I truthfully, I only played 3 hours of it. Maybe I didn't play tons and tons of it, but I was just doing the same things generally over and over again. Just run after run, improve your skater, try to get the different achievements or things, collectibles around each level, and go to the next one. And it's fun. It is a good time. It is a game, but it was almost one of those moments to me that I think, like you were saying, it was like picking up 007. Like, oh yeah, I do remember this being fun, but not as fun as I want it to be today. But definitely not nearly on the level that 007 is, or GoldenEye is, compared to this. Like, this is still a fun time. It is a game. It really is just a lot of the same thing that I've done before with Tony Hawk.
Now, I know most of the demographic that listens to this podcast is around our age, at least looking at the numbers. So there's probably gonna be a lot of people that know Tony Hawk. They grew up on Tony Hawk, very similar to what we did. For the younger people, I do wonder what their experience is going to be like with this game, because they probably don't really have much of a frame of reference for this. I guess the closest is Skate 3. I think that was probably the last mainline skateboarding game. I know a new skate game is coming out here soon. But yeah, I mean, this felt great. And I like that you mentioned 007, Keith, because if you pick up 007, you feel the datedness of it. It's slower, it's clunkier. It's one of those games that you go back and your nostalgia kind of gets ruined a little bit when you play it again.
Yeah.
This, I had the opposite feel of it. The game is not a complicated game, and it never was. It was always made to be arcadey. It was always made to just be something you could kind of chill and vibe on and hunt high scores. That was always kind of the core element of this, and it still does that and feels great. And there is no modern comparison right now. Like, there is no version of Tony Hawk right now. Again, there is a new skate game coming out. I know EA is currently working on, but
that's going to be an MMO.
Yeah, which you kind of saw versions of it in the last one where it's a little bit more open world. So that one makes sense. But as far as it goes for just an arcadey skate game, this was really it. This was kind of the peak. I know towards the end there, Tony Hawk games really, really got bad. I think most people agree that kind of 3 and 4 was it. Then they had American Wasteland.
American Wasteland I think is the last one people kind of were like, because then they came out with American Wasteland 2, which started the downtrend.
Yeah, it just progressively got worse.
Forgot about those games.
Yeah,
that's when they got rid of the timer and it was like open world.
And you could buy a plastic skateboard to play on at home. Do you remember that?
That was a different one. That was a separate game.
Like a little tech deck?
Yeah, it was a peripheral.
It wasn't for your hand. You actually literally stood on it.
Yeah. And it was awful. It didn't work.
Yeah, no, it was a horrible idea. But all that aside, these are genuinely good, and they are a great chill out game. They still are, after all these years, just a fun chill out game. So yeah, it's a game.
But and I forgot to mention that this game is this remake is from Activision, of course, since why it's on Game Pass, but it originally was from Neversoft. But getting to the story, well, there really isn't much of a story. It's generally you are picking a professional skater who you want to be, or you can create your own skater, and kind of going through a loose tour. You're supposed to be going to these different locations, and every once in a while do a tour, like a competition event. We obviously try to get, bronze, silver, or gold medal. But overall, there really isn't a story. Some areas kind of have a loose story tied to them, but not really. But so you're really just playing to be a skater and destroy things. So I guess we really don't have to talk about much of the story, but I figured this is a perfect time to talk about kind of our history of Tony Hawk. As I said, what I think is so good about these games, because I agree with you, Aaron. Like when you played GoldenEye, it kind of does ruin nostalgia for you. But this, it felt good. It still felt, like I said, it more felt like an arcade game. This isn't something I feel like, oh, guys, sorry, I'm just going to focus on Tony Hawk and play this a bunch. It was a really fun time of just because all the runs are 2 minutes long. I mean, you could obviously do free skate, but heck, my 5-year-old was picking this up. And I remember when we were kids, we were probably what?
I was trying to think of this. I was trying to think of what console this first came out on. Like,
I would say PlayStation was what came to mind for me.
Definitely did Nintendo 64 on these games.
I remember Nintendo 64. I remember seeing a PlayStation disc of this. So
yeah, I don't think it was on I know it wasn't on Super Nintendo. I would say
no. It was always 3D.
Yeah, Nintendo 64.
I want to say the original came out on N64, and everybody had an N64.
Yeah, and it was
the biggest
American
console.
Wasteland was the 360.
That makes sense. So you probably ran through like the PlayStation early 360 era. Probably got the 1, 2, 3, 4s, and then
Tony
Wasteland
Hawk's
kicks in.
Pro Skater, September 29th, 1999.
It's crazy.
Man.
So yeah, that would have been the N64.
Yeah, because I remember, I think it was your 12th birthday, Aaron. Because of this game, you wanted to get into skateboarding, and you got a skateboard for your birthday.
I did. I got
checks out.
I got a World Industries skateboard with independent trucks, and I don't remember what I had for wheels and bearings. That's how much I cared about it. Everybody got into skateboarding. That's why culturally, this was massive, because every boy in that age demographic got into skateboarding. Nobody ever got all that great. I'm sure some kids in the world did. but none of us got great. But it was just one of those things that you played Tony Hawk and it opened up a whole world of something you had never really seen or experienced. And yeah, that was a big deal. I do kind of wonder what happened to all the skaters. Like, we've got a skate shop in our mall, but I don't see kids just out skating anymore.
No, I mean,
it.
that's the thing. Nobody goes out much anymore either. Like, because you can see it with Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4 here. Majority of the levels are California, because I remember that was the big state. California was where everything was doing. But like, as of recent, I remember seeing a lot of footage. A lot of the skate parks have been filled in. Literally just sand filled them in. They just closed them up. Like, they really just don't exist much anymore.
We've got one in town.
Scooters, I think.
Yeah, you'll
scoot.
see that. You know what died more than skateboarding though is inline skating, because inline skating was really popular shortly before the Tony Hawk era.
Yeah.
And that is, I mean, clearly something you do not see at all anymore. Like, I'll see some kids skating down the skate park. I do not see inline skates anymore.
I will say it's funny because I was just down in Providence recently, and they have like this little park area, and there's just a public inline skating area. There's probably a good like 20 people out there.
Man, that's wild.
Picture who you would expect to be there, and that was who was there. But at the same time, I was like, that kind of looks like fun. Honestly, there was like, like a couple parents with their little kids, and then there was like the old professionals, the dancers.
Okay. Yeah.
A few open shirts.
Well, I mean, you gotta enjoy that. You gotta enjoy the breeze.
When you're wheeling like that, you just got to get the breeze.
Yeah, I feel like inline skating got popular because of Brink. That old Disney Channel movie.
That old Disney Channel. It's true that those things had influences. So I got an immediate nostalgia hit from this game. Like, within seconds of it starting, you guys might have skipped over it if you didn't catch it, but they introduced everybody with live video.
Yep, I remember that. No, that's what I was looking for. I wanted to get more of those.
So it made me think of a bunch of things, because one, at the time, Pacific Sun, PacSun, I don't know if PacSun exists anymore. It might exist in some malls.
I'm pretty sure.
We don't have one in our mall anymore. But again, in high school, you would go into a PacSun. They would have TVs in there, and they'd be playing skate videos, and they'd be playing like surf videos. So that was a mid 2000s thing. You could go get a VHS tape of skaters, and they would just basically film themselves. And in this intro, it's very similar to that. I'm sure they probably still make these things, but they're probably just sitting on YouTube or something like that. What I loved about it is some of them, for the older skaters, were the same ones from the original Tony Hawk.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah, there's a small handful of them.
Yeah, because there's a lot of new skaters in this game, which is cool. I think, again, really smart of Tony Hawk to do that. I know these are technically remakes, but you're introducing a bunch of current skaters. And I just think, especially for Tony, it's probably trying to show a whole new generation who these up-and-comers are, who these guys are that you haven't seen yet, which I love. But all the old heads on there, they have their videos they showed the first one. It also made me think of this. Why was live video not in more video games?
Was it? Like, I was just gonna say, wasn't Tony Hawk one of the first to like really embrace it? And I feel like because of that reason, like you said, like skate videos were the thing. Like,
maybe. I mean, obviously you get this in sports games. Like, they'll actually play live video because they have licensing rights to it. But it just kind of surprises me that I don't actually see live shot things more often. Because it does feel different.
Where would you see it? Like, obviously sports games, I guess. But even then, like, I'm assuming you have to go through a whole different sort of licensing.
So here's the thing that kills me, right? Because that's actually a good question. But then I thought about, like, wait, Halo made live action shots. They had them in their stinking commercials.
Yeah.
Remember those?
Which were awesome.
Which were incredible.
Those still hold up.
Imagine if that was not a commercial and you fired up Halo and you got that video as an intro. That would be sick. Very sick. So it just made me think. I was like, why didn't more video games shoot like just short scene? It's a short film. We do it 1.5, 2 minutes to introduce you to the game, but it's all live action. I think, to me, what a way to kickstart your game. Imagine like The Last of Us doing a whole zombie sequence live shot before the game starts. It would be cool. That'd be a really cool way to introduce the game. Again, just kind of a thought I had, not really relevant to this, other than I had the nostalgia kick, and then it just really made me think, man, why doesn't it exist more? This is so cool to see these guys skating in real life, and then you go into the game. I don't know. I liked it.
Like, well, I mean, I know it's not talking about that, but I was thinking too, like, especially with games that use like real actors to begin with, like the Star Wars movies that use, I don't know his name, but the kid from, or the guy from Shameless, I can never remember his name, or Death Stranding, where what's his name? I'm really good with actors' names. You're supposed to. I'm looking at you, Aaron, because you're supposed to be like giving me the names.
Just watching you crash.
I genuinely didn't know. I don't know who the first person is. I don't know who
the Star
Norman
Wars
Reedus for Death Stranding.
I know Norman Reedus. I didn't know who you were talking about for the first one though, from Shameless. I don't.
The redhead guy.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure he's in a lot more things than that.
Yeah, I don't know his name.
But they redhead guy? Yeah.
Right. Go ahead, Keith.
But they use real actors already, so it's not even like you have to worry about being like, oh, can this voice actor act? You have actors there in your game. Shoot, like you said, I'm sure it would make the cost of the game go up because that's gonna foot their bill much higher. But I agree with you, Aaron. That's what I'm saying.
Thank you.
It would be cool. It was a long way of agreeing with you.
So I don't know, nostalgia wise on this thing, I don't remember playing this a ton as a group. I don't remember this being a huge group game.
Like multiplayer?
Like, where like a bunch of people got together.
Now you do some couch co-op with friends because it had the I'm hoping it brought up like the graffiti mode or whatever.
Yep. I love that game mode.
Graffiti.
That game was a lot of fun.
All right, that was sick. I do remember that one. And because I remember doing things where you would just basically do scoring battles. Like you would do a 2-minute run, you'd set a score, the next person had to go.
Yeah, you do horse. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and you would just pass the controller back and forth too, which was even better. I don't
remember a ton about there being a co-op. I don't remember that. But it would make sense because in the N64 era, that was everything. Like every game had some
well, maybe not co-op, but it was at least couch split screen versus.
There what?
This guy, Aaron.
Oh, okay. You're showing me. I didn't know he was from Shameless. I had no clue. So this is why I was just
other things. That's just what I know him from.
Okay. All right. For anyone that didn't see,
he
just
cool.
He just showed me. What was that? That was from Star Wars
Jedi Survivor.
Jedi Survivor. That's right.
And Fallen Order.
Apparently, Cameron Monaghan.
I mean, that's kind of interesting. I didn't know that was actually a real actor. So that's how much I know. Sorry.
But yeah. Wait. Oh. But yeah, going back to the videos, Aaron. Now I remember because I was like, you brought up something. I had a complaint. One of the skaters they had was a guy with no legs. And I thought it was kind of disappointing that they showed him and you can't play as him.
Okay.
And I remember seeing him and I remember the guy's really good and really cool. I was like, why did they not create this guy?
I love that you said that too, because when I saw the video, I immediately was like, well, that guy's got to play different then. Like it's got to play different. So I want to check this guy out. And I couldn't find him. Is he a secret skater? Because obviously you do have some secret skaters.
I don't think so.
I think there's only I thought there was only 3 and you can just buy them. It's Bam
4.
Margera. Okay, I saw Bam Margera, Michelangelo,
Andy Anderson, and I want to say the 4th is Officer Dick, which is Jack Black.
Oh, that's
because he was in the officer was in one of the originals, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was the original. Yeah, and it was done by Jack Black, so he just reprised his role.
I didn't know that. I didn't know he was the original.
Yeah, because I remember seeing an article saying that Jack Black was replaying his role as Officer Dick.
Oh, that's interesting.
I don't know if I actually realized it either.
Yeah, there's actually a few things that I think kind of pop up in this game that I was a little surprised by. In that Halloween level, the guy that you give the axe to, is that Bruce Campbell?
At the very least, it probably is intentionally meant to resemble him because they used to do that in the old games a lot too.
Yeah, I don't want to do any journalistic integrity here, but when it kind of zoomed in on his face, like you hand him the axe and he does his thing. I was like, is that Bruce Campbell? Like, are they doing a, Army of the Living Dead reference here?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Which I thought was kind of funny because it looked like him for it being not like high fidelity, kind of older looking graphics. That looked like him.
At the very least, he's not listed in IMDb. So it's not actually him.
All right. Just looked a lot like him. I thought, because that was my thought, was like, oh, cool. I didn't realize they had just like regular actors kind of just cameoing in this.
Okay.
No, but
yeah.
I'm
So
sure
no,
it
there's
was
also Birdman
intentionally.
as another unlockable character, and instead of calling him Officer Dick, it's Constable Richard is the playable character.
Boo.
No, there's typical Tony Hawk game. There's also a ton of cameos. Did you guys see that there is a secret SpongeBob area?
No.
Yeah, I completely did it by accident. I didn't realize this. It's on I think it's on 4. And you go to the skate park where you're doing the competition, and there's a pirate ship. And if you go to the very front of the pirate ship, and if you shoot far enough, there's a little buoy. And I didn't read what it said at first, but if you land on the lifesaver, it actually says several hours later in the SpongeBob text. And then you're under the sea. It's just this really quick segment, but you see Squidward.
That does make sense because it does tell you that there's like portal areas around the maps. So it would make sense that there's like little hidden spots that you wouldn't expect to go into.
Yeah.
There we go. One of our listeners found the Bikini Bottom part 2. Sweet, so I'm not the only one. I did take a picture of it.
By the way, I kind of meant to bring this up, Andrew. You kind of talked about this being really arcadey. You know what this thing kind of has like a very similar vibe to? Again, kind of a dead game, but it's got a very Crazy Taxi feel to it.
Yes.
You know how Crazy Taxi 2 minute long, and it's hyper fast with the music being such like a core backbone to it. Tony Hawk was the same idea. It was really fun, really arcadey, 2 minutes, and the music was the backbone. Because that's also another thing that I think we kind of glossed over too. Not only was this game so influential to a bunch of kids our age getting into skating at such a young age, it was a huge influence on music.
Yes.
To this day, Goldfinger is a band I'll pull up Superman because it was a song I used to listen to all of the time. To this day, No Cigar is still one of my favorite songs because of how good it was from Millencolin. Yeah, because of this game. Like there are just certain songs that just immediately connect you to Tony Hawk. So it's got that similar vibe to Crazy Taxi. It's just kind of in that similar realm, very arcadey. I mean, right now, if you have an arcade, I know our local arcade, it's an old school one. It has a Crazy Taxi sitting in there.
Does it still play the Offsprings too?
Yep, that's the song.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I kept thinking that song was in this game too, and I'm like, no, that's Crazy Taxi.
No, that's Crazy Taxi.
You would expect that. Well, we'll talk about that later. I guess the full soundtrack, but you are right. Like it's such just a core element. And I said something in our Discord that I think I was just completely wrong about. Is I swear it happened. Was I had Spotify playing and I booted up the game and I swear to God it switched over the music in game to my Spotify music instead. I think I might have just had my Spotify turned up loudly over it because I went the next day and I was like trying to mess with it. I was like, why am I hearing 2 songs right now?
I'm just picturing your mind blown and all you're doing is playing your music.
Well, because I thought it was the coolest feature because I was like, okay, they're actually appreciating the fact that music is a core element to it, but maybe you want to listen to your own music. So like immediately recognizing that, like, I thought that would have been cool. And I
was like, oh my God, they have Jenny from the Block on this?
No,
could you imagine doing kickflips to Jenny from the Block?
That would awesome. Be. That would be time appropriate.
I might do it anyways.
Time period appropriate. No, because that music is curated. Like they announced the soundtrack to this game like when they announced its launch. Like
but so is Forza Horizon, but they have an option to turn the radio off. Like it's like,
well, sure, Keith, you can mute the game's music if you want to.
I'm not talking about just muting the music. I'm talking about like when you're flipping through the radio stations, there's just an off option. Aaron. You have to go all the way into the settings.
And then you turned on Spotify and I was like, oh, it plays my music. This is incredible.
I hate you so much.
Technology.
But let's get to the gameplay though. So obviously this is both 3 and 4, hence the name of it. But as I said, the main game is you're doing a career mode where you can pick one of. I didn't count how many skaters are, but I think there's got to be like 50 plus
ton.
skaters. Yeah, because I remember the original maybe had 12, and then obviously you had like 4 or 5 secret skaters. But yeah, this is like 50 skaters, and then of course you can create your own skater. But yeah, you're essentially going through career mode of just each level has its own objectives. You know, grind this thing, do a specific move, collect skate. Every level has a collect skate,
36.
SKATE. That was only 36. Looks way bigger. But yeah, you're just trying to complete objectives, unlock more parks, and progress, and try to basically do all the move sets you need to do or all the objectives. There's also, of course, a free skate, multiplayer, a map creator, skater creator. So they're actually like, I'm glad they did 3 and 4 because I was sitting there. I remember as a kid, whenever a Tony Hawk game came out, it was like a big deal. And to me as a kid, I was like, this is a ton of content. Looking at it now, I'm like, there is like 6 or 8 parks in the first one. And I'm like, this is nothing. Like I would complete a level 2 or 3 runs. And then it's just like, man, I could have polished this game off in like 2 hours if it was just like a single game. So good thing they did 2 games together at once. But yeah, this gameplay, instantly I remembered what to do. Like I was doing the tutorial because I'm like, it's been a while. I probably forget some things. But after a quick few seconds, I'm like, okay, yep, I know what I'm doing. I know how to rack up points, do more combos. But yeah, so still have muscle memories with this game.
Yeah.
I mean, you could say it's just like riding a skateboard.
Ooh.
Boo.
Probably wouldn't.
Boo this man. Yeah, the muscle memory is spot on. What would you label this game? I haven't seen how they label
Sports
this.
game.
No. Is this a remaster or a rework?
I don't know. I guess I would say remaster because
they
didn't change the bones of it really.
Well, I wondered because the original didn't have any female skaters.
Sure.
This one does.
I think that's
And
false.
it has
I'm pretty
more
sure they had like 1 or 2.
So this doesn't have the original roster.
Well, yeah, it's all new skaters.
So what would you label this game then?
Because
Because I think to be a remaster, you kind of keep most of that stuff. You just clean it up.
according to the Wikipedia,
This is what I'd like to do. When I get on this podcast, what I want to do is argue over semantics and genre. And in this
it is a
case, I'm going to
remake
derail things
of
by
Pro
asking, is
Skater
this a
3
proper
and
remaster?
Pro Skater 4,
One of
which
our
were
listeners asked if we
originally
beat the game.
developed.
I beat it. I got to the end of it.
I originally wasn't supposed to be on this episode. So I'm like a few levels into the 4th one. So I completed because it was, like you said, it's not hard to get through.
Yeah. It's about completing it is the harder part.
So that's what I kind of miss about this game, and why it was kind of fun to get back into was it's kind of fun to get yourself stuck in a level a little bit.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I'm trying to figure out the problem. Like, wait, what I had to do here? Which one is this? I know that you can obviously see all that stuff. I like to go exploring on my own. So, you complete things one by one, or bit by bit. And, it always sucks when you're like, I've got 2 more challenges to do here. I can obviously just move on, but it's like, nah, I want to do this again. I want to go and try and complete this.
Yeah, usually my go-to strategy is I'll go in with like an exploratory run, kind of just knock out a few of the challenges, because I'll watch the initial fly through the level because it starts out and it kind of gives you a general idea, like in the skate one, like where the S is at least, or the other things it'll zoom around the level and show you where the events need to occur. And so I'll usually do like an exploratory, kind of get a feel for it, see if I can knock out some of those. Then I'll do a score one, and then I'll try to do the missions, and usually kind of rinse and repeat as necessary.
Yeah,
go ahead, Aaron.
No, go ahead, Andrew.
I was gonna say I officially found it is a remake because it's a
I
whole new
said that
engine.
like 5 minutes ago.
Well, you were like, meh, 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 meh.
I
But
was
yeah,
literally. I
they-
said, according to Wikipedia, it is a remake. And you guys are like, "Rod."
well,
Anyways,
yes, because they had to do it with the Unreal Engine, which I gotta say kind of stinks. This game is like 50 gigs. Like when you think about it, there's not a lot in this game, but the fact that it's Unreal Engine is hefty. This game is like over 50 gigs.
It is. I mean, it's a double-edged sword with Unreal Engine. Like every developer knows how to use it, so it's very easy for you to develop a game in it because everyone knows the language. They can get right into it.
Yeah.
It does offer a lot of tools, so everything can be made through Unreal Engine. But you're not wrong. Unreal Engine 5 has been a little bit of a mixed bag because even high-end PCs struggle with some UE5 games. So it's not necessarily a super optimized setup for everybody, but the game looks beautiful. Like it doesn't look bad at all.
No, which is great. I don't know if you saw. So someone's asking about the customizations, which I don't know if you saw in the secret shop. Obviously, anytime every level has a icon, the Iron Galaxy, which is the company that really remade this. But if you collect it, you unlock more stuff in the secret shop. But they had a like old school pixelation, so it plays and looks like it did like in the Nintendo
that's
64.
awesome.
I mean, you think it's awesome, but when you're playing it, it's like, oof.
No, I'm sure it looks like absolute garbage. Did anybody here make a customized skater?
My
No,
5-year-old did.
I wish I did actually.
I kinda wish I did too.
Is it any good? I instinctively just picked the one for Massachusetts. 'Cause it's like,
I went with Nigel Houston.
It's
don't know who that
not
is.
great. It's pre-templates, so you can't like customize a person's face.
Boo.
So obviously you're unlocking different apparel and stuff you can put on a character because when you're doing a skater, I don't know if it changes eventually, but I know there's only set costumes for each skater. So like if you pick like Tony Hawk, he only has like 4
that's how
different
it
outfits you
always
could do.
was, if I remember.
Yeah, but if you do a custom character, like obviously the wardrobes and the boards are way more extensive and everything like that.
So you
but
can't
yeah,
make a hideous monster.
No, you cannot.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, that one's a bit of a bummer. Can I change my gamer pass to pass now? No,
I guess. If you really want
no,
to.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I didn't try the customize setup. I went and I was gonna pick Nigel Houston. And I mean you upgrade their skills as you're going along. So it's like I have no reason to change. Like he's now getting better as I play with him.
I did Bucky Lassick. He was always my favorite in the old
Bucky
ones.
Bucky was a good original. That was a good call.
They didn't have my original favorite, which was I think is Anthony Mullen.
No, he's
if I
in there.
remember. Oh, is he?
Yeah. Or
You
no,
just
they
had
have
to
Rodney
scroll.
Mullen.
Rodney Mullen.
That's who it was.
That's what I meant.
You just have to
Yeah.
scroll through.
And that's what I did your intro, Keith. I called you Rod Mullet.
Okay, but that you could have called me a lot of things. That doesn't mean he's in the game.
I do
And I
love
did
that
forget-
Andrew just said the joke that he already said. He still laughed at himself. He's like, I just called you Rod Mullet.
It's a great joke.
It's like still good.
Like you say it like I pay attention to the intro. It's just my opportunity to say hello, regardless of what you say.
I don't know.
there.
You sometimes don't even do that.
That is
That's
true.
true. He did say hello today though, so he does get credit.
But yeah, Rodney Mullen was always my favorite. He was like he had the dark side grind where you flip the board over, and that was like
yeah.
and in general he like had a base of some of the best grind skills. Like Aaron said, like you can upgrade your skater no matter who you pick anyway, so you can ultimately do what you want. But he had the best base for grinds, which is my favorite move sets or trick sets.
Yeah. I like for a while too. I also switched to. I'm glad they put my favorite Ninja Turtle. They put Michelangelo into it. So I was like, all right, I've got to do this. Which my 5-year-old was very excited. She's like, Ninja Turtle.
I don't like that new design of them, by the way.
Yeah,
That's me, like old man.
The
shaking my
Nickelodeon
fist at the
version?
cloud. Yeah.
I mean, it's not bad. It's better than what's his the live action Ninja Turtle one where they had noses.
Yeah, I've gotten used to the newer look of them. It doesn't bother me too much. Sorry, Keith.
I mean, I this is not anything of a soapbox for me. I was never a big Ninja Turtles fan. It's mostly just I looked at it and I don't like that.
That's kind of a bummer. Although you were just talking about the grinding, and Andrew had mentioned kind of the muscle memory of this, and those two things were like, oh, I remember how you get high scores. You grind, manual, flip into another grind, manual, flip into another grind, and that was kind of that's how you're going to combo the crap out of this thing.
Yeah.
And it just immediately kicks in. Like the moment you fire it up, you're like, yep, I know, I gotta do.
Which did you guys play this in a quiet room with like no sound on?
No.
Well, I'm gonna say, do not play this game in a quiet room if there's other people in the room, because I did it a couple times. Yes, your controller is just click, 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 because you're just hitting the buttons. Because while you're grinding, if you just hit like double X, double B, double Y, like you'll switch your grinds mid grind and you'll rack up a combo. So my controller is literally just click, 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 and I'm like, man, this is gonna drive people insane if they're in the room with me.
It also gives you like a kind of like a quick reset on the balance meter. Like I think it gets a little bit shakier each time you do it, but it at least kind of does a quick reset for you.
Yeah. Still fun to play. Still buttery smooth to play. But
see, but one thing that surprised me, I do not remember a lot of these levels. I remember the foundry on 3. I remember the airport. I remember skate park. I remember the water park. But like a lot of these, I'm like, I don't remember a zoo. I don't think I remember this map. Like there was a lot that I'm going through, and I'm like, I don't remember this.
I feel like I remember
some moments I did.
The Halloween one. Because I remember
I vaguely remember that because I remembered the haunted house. Yeah, like Aaron said, giving the guy the axe. It's like I remember that. But yeah, I was kind of surprised.
Because like the stadium one, I don't remember the stadium one. But I might not have even played much of 3 and 4. I might have honestly stopped around Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2.
I think that's another great point. I think that we actually played 1 and 2 probably more than 3 or 4. So
I don't know.
I think that's
remember
what it is for me at least.
I loved these games.
But
I remember
do you
playing
know
them too.
though? That's the thing, because like in this I don't mean this as a shot at the game, but 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and really this one, much of the same gameplay. It was just maybe different skaters, different environments, some new tricks or different tricks potentially, but realistically, controls were the same, graphics were probably the same, the modes were the same. Like, would you really know the difference if you didn't? Exactly, like outside of I think playing the actual time period of the game it was like today, so you could tell from the graphics, that would be about your only tell.
Like in my opinion, the 2 most iconic levels in all of Tony Hawk history is Foundry, and then the school. The school was on the second.
It's a hangar. Hangar in the first one, the very first.
Okay, hangar. Those 3. Is the school from the second one? Do you remember that one? Yes,
I love that one.
For whatever reason, that was my favorite. That was my favorite level to do the graffiti challenges on.
Yep.
Yeah,
because I don't know why that one was my favorite.
Didn't it have a couple pools? I mean, every mobile has a couple pools. That's kind of stupid, I know, but like they were like pools.
Is there a half pipes?
Yeah.
In grinds?
Are you jumps?
Yeah. I don't remember. Yeah, there was definitely a. There was always a pool. There was always a pool. Like every map has.
But I guess I just this thing more. It was like a main like focal point of the level
this was
in the
like,
gym.
To me, it was like the outside courtyard area was the area I loved, and I think it was just because it was kind of like a long hallway, so you could kind of flow down it, hitting things as you're going, and then coming back. And that was kind of the area I spent all my time hanging out in. Was that?
There's one map that I remember, and I could have swore it was in 4, but I guess it's not, and that's Cruise Ship.
Oh, okay.
I specifically remember this one
Cruise Ship
because I remember we rented. I remember all these Tony Hawk games we always rented. I don't think we ever owned one.
And that's
the other thing that's like, that's like another core memory too. Is like, oh, it's the weekend. Let's go rent it, and we play it all weekend, and then we got to return it. But yeah, I just remember Cruise Ship because it had a whole combo. Because I remember I kept trying to do it where you literally followed the whole cruise ship, and you had to land it. It was like a 2 million combo you had to do. That was like one of the challenges. And like we literally had to return the game in an hour, and I was like, I can't get this combo. And I just remember it was driving me insane, but it was always so close.
So
I remember the cruise ship.
For those 15% of you that are not in the 25 to 35-year-old range, there was once a time where we rented video games.
You, had to
You
go
would
to a
go
store.
to a store, see the game, rent
it
it
was in
for a
stock.
few days. If it was in stock, sometimes you go and it was not there, and that sucked. But yes, you used to go and rent video games for the weekend, and it was awesome.
Yeah, and in some cases you would get prank mugged. Do you remember that, Aaron?
Yeah, I do remember getting prank mugged
And to this
after
day,
renting.
never
renting
Because
video
you're so
games.
convinced you were really getting mugged.
It was
Why would
scary.
we not? Why would we not have?
To
First of all,
this-
we're in sixth grade. These two kids that are taller and bigger than us, so clearly older than us, come up to us and just started threatening us and asking us for our money, which I did not have, which I showed them by physically
Oh,
turning
Keith
up my
pulled his
empty-
pockets out so
like
fast.
like a cartoon. I'm like, I have no
Yeah.
money.
All right, so we were heading to Blockbuster.
Nope.
Or
West
whatever-
Coast Video. It was West
Oh,
Coast.
okay,
Video.
it's West Coast Video.
Yeah.
I had the money because we were at our house, so I was going to go rent the
A
video
whole
game.
$5, I think, maybe 10.
Whatever it
'cause your
was.
mom might have given us some.
I
money for a snack,
remember-
too.
What I remember was talking to Keith as we're walking, and I was looking over at him, and I see his eyes get really big, and he starts walking away from me. Like he starts going sideways. And I remember just being like, what? And I see him pull out his pockets. And when I look forward, two guys are right in front of us. So one's kind of like hassling Keith and one's hassling me. And I'm like, I don't know. We don't have any money. Look at my friend over here's pockets. We have no money. And
You didn't show your
There was
pockets,
like
Aaron?
two girls with him too, and they're like, "Guys, stop!
No,
Leave
yeah,
him
but-
alone! Leave him alone."
so I see him reach into his pocket, and I was like, I'm about to get stabbed over $5. So I just handed them the money. They laughed and handed it back to us, and we went on our way. And it was the scariest moment of my life. So
And they were just joking.
yeah,
I
at the
wonder- I
same
sometimes wonder, like, do they think about that ever? Like, do they sit around sometimes
Dude,
and like laugh? Like,
probably.
those two goofballs.
because probably the look on our face like was probably
Just sheer terror.
utter shock. It's probably something they think about sometimes. So
Keith
yes,
emptied his
probably.
pockets so quick he almost ripped his pants off.
At that
I
point,
mean,
though, you
I probably
get to
would
the
have taken my
store.
pockets off my pants if I could have.
At that point, you get to the store, then you're like, what are we even going to rent? Like, now my day is ruined, my mood. I don't even know if I want to play video
What if we get
games right
mugged
now.
again on the way back? Take our suitcase.
Yeah, it was, man, rocked my world.
And Alex in our chat, yeah, another one that reminded me of another good one, Downhill Jam. That was a really good map. It's literally just a
Oh.
steep, literally kind of valley, just hill. That was a great one. But yeah, he
Okay.
said, yeah, getting a cartridge and hoping that, your save is still on it the next time you rent it.
Yeah.
I remember that.
So wait,
but-
Downhill Jam, though, was a whole other game, wasn't it?
No, there was one level. Man, I can't remember which one it was. It must have been
Alex,
two,
call
I
him out right
suppose.
now in the chat. I'm pretty sure Downhill Jam was its own game.
It wasn't. I promise you.
know.
Yeah, he's
Don't. No, we do not practice journalistic integrity here. We do not do the research. We make wild speculations. That's
Well, I
what
mean, in
we
that
do
case,
here.
I'm on your side then of calling Andrew wrong. But can I use Google for a second? Because
Go ahead.
Tony Hawk's Downhill Jam, right here,
What's its
just-
own game?
is it just-
Currently is. It currently exists in the world. So,
Yep. Just gonna go
Andrew,
ahead.
if you'd like to
and just leave
apologize,
this
here
right
is your
here.
chance to do so.
Tony Hawk's Downhill Jam is a skateboarding video game in the Tony Hawk series.
Alex didn't even have an opportunity to correct
Ooh,
you.
however, Andrew is also correct. So you're
Project-
both correct.
8
It is
Yep.
named after the level Downhill Jam.
Okay,
So it
but
is
that
a
was-
Ooh,
game
yeah.
and a level.
Because
I
I
mean,
you didn't let me finish. When
Yeah.
Aaron was talking about the peripheral, I remember they made that was the peripheral game, was the Downhill Jam. So that's why, but it was based off of that level.
So, but I was more right than you were right. So it sounds like Alex, though, was referencing the level. So am I actually booyahing both of you right now? Am I booyahing two people right now? Am I booyahing Andrew and Alex in the chat right now? I mean, I might
don't
be.
know. All right, but I wanted to ask, did you guys do the multiplayer at all this time around?
No.
No.
I didn't either. I kind of wish I did, but I also didn't care because
I-
I'm like, I'm just having fun on my own here.
Yeah,
I-
This game is a good chill game. Like
It
this is a game to just hang out in, get high scores, and
Well,
get your
that's
little
a good point
doodads.
though, because that I think is the cool addition of, and I'm sure some of the kind of more recent but not old ones that at least had online leaderboards. But online leaderboards is a great way that you can still just sit back, said play this by yourself, but have something to go up against, challenge your friends, see what their scores are, and add some fun to it that way.
Yeah.
It actually
Um,
keeps really cool stats too.
It
Yeah,
does.
it does.
It, It's got like your longest run. If you actually do create levels, it like tells you what your upvoted levels are and like all that type of stuff. So it's actually got a ton of really cool stats I was looking into.
I was never good at level designing.
Oh,
I
I would
remember,
never
like,
try it.
I remember old Tony Hawk's having it, and I was like, I'm gonna make the sickest map, and then
And
you
you
look
just
at
make
it.
a
and you-
bowl. And that was
Yeah,
it.
pretty much. You pretty much do like a bunch of half pipes, random bars that don't flow into anything. So
Yeah.
you're just kind of slamming, ping ponging off of everything. You're like, oh, my level sucks. But
But you're
know.
proud of it. I remember that back in the day. You're like, "Hey guys, check out my level." You
Oh,
guys play, like,
yeah.
2 seconds. You're like, "This sucks. This
Yeah.
isn't fun."
you literally would rather play any other level but the level you made.
Yeah, you're like, I could do like 10 million points on it because it's just one bowl that goes in a circle. Just do an infinite grind.
Yeah, you'd be putting jumps in random places, you'd be putting rails in random places, and it would just suck. It would suck. And you realize like these people clearly thought these things through to make sure they had more of a flow and they
flow,
were
yeah.
structured properly. Where me, I'm just like, this looks good, and then it's awful. It's awful. No one wants to play it. So
Yep.
I'm kind of curious. I didn't realize that stuff existed in this. I really have not even looked at that. I went just straight into career mode.
Yeah, same
Um,
here.
And really didn't looked at the stats, looked at the unlocks.
I know we talked about videos. One of my favorite videos back in the day were the Bale videos. There's only
Yeah.
one Bale video. Did you see it?
No.
It's awful. It's like it's seizure inducing because it's like
What?
they do like it's like a minute long video, but it's like 200 bales. So it's like literally 1 second of just like bam, 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 bam. And I was like, what is going on in this video? Like you have no time to process of what's going on. It was weird. It was just
Man,
one
a good
Bale
fall,
video.
you need the lead up. Like you need to
Yeah.
know the fall's coming or not. It's like a jump scare. But
And you
for
need
a
to see him
laugh, you're like,
suffer.
yeah. Yeah, you need to see how confident they are going into the fall, and then you need to see how bad the fall was after. You need a good like 5 seconds on either end of it.
Because that's
People
the
are
other thing.
surprisingly graceful at falling, though.
Oh, skaters, yeah.
When you
I mean,
consider the speed and heights that they're doing things on, and they just
God.
kind of roll out of it, and you're like, dang, that's
See,
impressive.
I remember the original Bale videos, like they had a couple that were actually pretty graphic. That like you could see like a broken leg or a bone, and I remember
yeah.
being like blown away as a kid. Because that's the thing too. I don't know if you remember. I don't think it was all Tony Hawk's, but they used to have a little bit of blood. If you like fell at a high height, it would do like a little blood streak on the ground.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, this time it's just your character turns pixelated. It's just like, this is so
Oh,
censored.
stop. I didn't need that. Like, it doesn't make the game. In fact, the pixelated thing feels more natural to what this game is, which is an
It
arcadey,
does.
goofy
But
game. It's not super serious.
But it's definitely just like once again a product of the time, because when this game was around was early internet days, and if you were in the early internet days, almost anyone, I feel like it was like a rite of passage, went to rotten.com and see dead bodies.
Yeah, man.
Do you remember
What a
that?
time.
You were desensitized pretty early as a kid back in those days.
Oh, it was Newgrounds. It was
E-Bombs
Prime.com.
World.
E-Bombs World. That was the other one.
IamBored.com was one we went to a lot.
E-Bombs World is one of the first websites I ever saw boobs on. Anyways,
Early internet ruled.
I'm fairly certain it was at your house too. I think we were just like scrolling E-Bombs World, and it was when you clicked on. It was like
I
Tomb
don't
Raider.
remember this at all.
Oh, it is burned into my brain. But anyways,
No, early
shaped
internet
you.
ruled. I always think about this like kids this generation won't find weird websites. They don't go to websites.
No, they don't go outside.
they everything is just
that's where you
curated
should
in
be
an
able to
app for
find
them.
weird sites. That's
Huh?
Andrew said they don't go outside. I'm like, that's all the more reason you should find weird websites. But you're right. You know why? The death of Stumble Upon. Do you remember Stumble Upon?
Oh, that was a good one. Yeah,
That
yeah.
was the greatest. It was. I guess it was actually more of a plug-in. I think technically it had a website too, but yeah, that was how I just discover just weird stuff.
See,
Yeah.
this was just going to turn into a nostalgia podcast for you young people in the audience, the 15% of you.
Before the internet
What you
died.
would do is you would go to a website and you would just tell this thing, find a random website for me, and it probably had a curated list of just super random things that existed on the internet. So you'd find
you
some
could pick
pretty fun
categories.
rabbit holes. Which
Yeah,
was
I mean, now you got TikTok, obviously, that kind of essentially does the same thing of just like
They're
blasting random garbage.
they're all missing out on weird internet stuff, man.
Yeah.
They're missing out on it, and they're wasting their time on the TikToks.
because this was before algorithms were used properly. So if you said I just want to see dogs, it would be like, all right, I'm just gonna find the first dog video I can find. And it wasn't trying to like give you a certain content creator. Content creators weren't a thing. People just had things on the internet.
Yep.
And yeah, you just got a dog video. Didn't matter, a dog picture, could be anything. Could be a cartoon dog. You're just like, okay, I'm just
Could be
gonna
a dead
get whatever-
dog.
No, it did have filters to keep out graphic content.
Okay.
Oh,
But well, you could turn those off
ironclad
too.
memory over there. How did you remember
Because
that?
I used to spend hours on Stumble Upon, hours. So yeah, anyways, it's a quick internet. Like I said, back before the internet died. Now
Yeah,
we get the
history of
dead
the
internet.
internet.
But we already talked a little bit about the music. Once again, the soundtrack in this game is really good. Like, and it's also done very well because you can click the right stick and skip the track. You can also curate the list. You really don't like that song, you literally can go and say, don't play the song anymore. They even had some like older songs, but I didn't quite get in my random rotation. So I didn't really play them. But honestly, this is a great soundtrack. Anytime I boot up a Madden game, I'm like, my God, turn this off. It irritates me right off the get-go. And this, I felt like it's a wide variety of songs from hip hop, punk to like just rock, like just old school rock, like CKY. What a classic band for Tony Hawk. That song, I already forget the name of that song, but I was like, holy crap, this is an original song.
99 Bitter Beings, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
or
but I was
I
like,
thought it was
Bitter Beings.
96.
96 Quite Bitter Beings, yeah.
Yeah.
but it's such a good soundtrack. It just flows with the game. It just works.
It's funny because our friend Dave, but also in our Discord said, game's great, but the music sucks. And I think it's interesting because you like you said, Andrew, it's got a ton of the classics, but there is a lot of music that I wouldn't expect in a Tony Hawk game. Like I'm not used to hearing AC/DC even, and like things like that. I'm like, that just felt kind of weird. You can curate it and you can turn on and off what you want, and some of it makes sense. I think like adding more like hip hop and rap, like that's become definitely more incorporated into skate culture, and that makes sense. And I'm sure a lot of this is so. You know me and my big skate culture that I live in, so I'm defending that they're ruining it here. But for me, I was like, no, I wanted the Millen Collins, the no effects and stuff like that from the yesteryears. That's what I was looking for.
The original ones had some hip hop in there. Didn't it have Cypress Hill?
Oh yeah, well they always had Lupe
yeah.
Fiasco.
Yeah.
Because
and what was
Lupe
that?
Fiasco
They had a
is
really famous one. Wasn't that one with AC/DC in it as well? It wasn't Walk This
you
Way.
could be right. I would be willing to be incorrect on it, but I don't remember any AC/DC in old
I feel like
ones.
there was an AC/DC song. I mean, I feel like this is something we could Google, but
I told you, Andrew.
Aaron said we're not allowed to.
No journalistic integrity here. We make speculations.
So that
I am
gonna
confirming right now AC/DC was in there.
And I was going to say, I'm going to go ahead and drop my I think off there then. And I'm just going to go ahead and say AC/DC was absolutely never in Tony
There
Hawk.
we
It
go.
doesn't belong in one period.
There we go. That's what I like to hear.
graphically though, this game looks great. I will say, I feel like some of the skater models look kind of ghoulish, but they were like, no, this is what the skaters look like.
When you're doing like the selection screen,
Yes.
especially the little box like of their face
Yeah.
was a little weird. I'll give it to you. At first I was like, ghoulish, what are you talking about? I was like, actually, you're not wrong. You would kind of see a skater's face and you're like, what the heck does that person look like? you go over to him, you're like, oh, okay, all right. They don't look that bad, but Ghoulish is probably not a bad description.
I'm gonna see if I can actually find them and bring them up. But overall, though, like the maps themselves look great. The environments look great.
Lots of color.
Yeah, because I remember a lot of this game being kind of flat, but seeing it now, it's like, oh no, this looks really nice.
Yep. Thank you, Unreal Engine.
But
We
you
love
kind of
you.
suck too, because the loading in this game sometimes can be a little rough.
It's
Terrible,
not
but-
awful, but
Yeah.
I guess when you kind of consider the type of game it is, the levels are bigger than I remember them being. Like there are definitely some levels I'm like, well, there's actually more to this. Kind of goes back here a little bit, but they're not huge. So yeah, when you kind of consider that, you feel like it should kind of load pretty quickly. But again, thank you, Unreal Engine. We love you.
Does make for a good game, that's for sure.
I mean, it looks nice.
And as far as the achievements go, take a little bit of time, but it's not too hard. It's kind of weird. So there's obviously a bunch of in-game achievements or challenges, and some of them are actually associated to achievements that you can unlock. Even though this is 2 games, it's still 1,000 gamer score. But overall, though, there's a handful of achievements that are pretty easy to get. So if you're just looking for like your daily achievement to get for the day, it's not too hard. But it definitely does take some time to kind of get them all. So for achievement hunters, I don't know if I'd fully recommend it for you. But yeah. Anything else you guys want to add before we get our final thoughts?
No, jump
All
into
right.
it.
So we'll try to get into our final thoughts here. So Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4. I was really trying to think this over of like, am I liking this game just because I knew it as a kid? And I want to say no, but obviously I can't say that because I played this as a kid. But I think if you're someone who has never tried these games before, this is great, especially for Game Pass. This is something you need to jump in. It's honestly, it is like a palate cleanser because it's simple, it's quick. The game definitely has muscle memory. I feel like this is a game you could put down and pick up later. So this is just a very fun time. Especially if you have a friend over and you just want to kind of challenge each other, this is a very fun game. I still think it holds up. It's definitely not. To me, it's something I probably wouldn't spend a ton of money on. But like I said, this is because if it's on Game Pass, this is great. I am kind of disappointed Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 isn't on Game Pass yet. I don't know why Microsoft hasn't done that. But yeah, I don't think you can go wrong with this. This is a solid 80 for me.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with this. I said at the beginning, my only personal kind of gripe, I guess, is that it just feels like I am playing the old one, but that's also the best thing about it because the Tony Hawk games, as we talked about already, were a ton of fun. They're a huge nostalgia trip. It didn't feel difficult to pick up, and I think that it's worth playing. If you've never played a skating game, it's a lot of fun. And sometimes modern sports games can be so intimidating because they go so heavy on the like attempted simulation that it's like I don't really always want to play them. Or you might not want to play them if you're not into sports, or maybe you are but you just have never been into sports games. Whatever the case may be, Tony Hawk isn't like that. It's a lot of fun. It's snappy. Well, yeah, you can obviously fall on your tricks. It's very forgiving with like, oh, physically in the real world you shouldn't be able to grind on that rail the way you hit it, but it'll give it to you because it just does. So it's fun. It's exactly what I remembered it to be and kind of what I expected, which was kind of a bummer. I was hoping for maybe a little more. I don't know what I was expecting, but maybe something new ish. But overall, yeah, it was a lot of fun. And I think I agree with Andrew on the 80 score, even though I don't agree with him on AC/DC ever being in a Tony Hawk game.
That was
He's
Aaron
flip-flop?
who was fighting that.
No, you said it too. You
I agreed with him, but Aaron was the one who was mostly fighting it.
I wasn't agreeing with Aaron at the time, so I didn't have to reference my disagreeing with them.
Okay, so Tony Hawk 3 and 4. Right now, I really don't think there's a game that quite competes with it. In modern day, obviously, different Tony Hawk games have existed and skating games have existed, but right now in 2025, there really is no comparison to this game right now. It is a great chill out game. This is, I want to sit down, I want to get some high scores. Perfect for it. It is a little thin on content, a little bit. Obviously, there's some things we didn't really get time to fully test out, but as far as it goes, there aren't a crazy amount of levels. There's a ton of skaters. and there's a ton of little things to unlock, but that's kind of it. And what you're doing here is you're going in to chill and have a good time. The soundtrack's great. The game looks great. This, to me, again, just has a perfect chill out vibe. I don't know if there'd be a ton that I would change with it because I just don't think you really need to do. Maybe add a few more levels, but that's about it. To me, this is an 86.
Man, you give a much higher score.
I just don't think anything game really competes with it right now. I know, Alex just mentioned this in the stream, especially in our age range here. Tony Hawk 1 and 2 is obviously more important. I think 3 and 4 are still very good. I think they get a little bit goofier in 3 and 4, but that more arcadey feel I think makes it fun. I enjoy that a lot. So yeah, Tony Hawk 1 and 2 might be better, but 3 and 4, that's the package we have right now, and it's a good package.
Yeah. All right, everyone. I think that's going to do it for us this week. Just a quick reminder, make sure you go to GamePassGrabback.com, check out our website, or go to our link tree, join us on our Discord or our YouTube, and come see our live recordings. We record about every Wednesday around 8:30 EST. We've actually gotten better at recording times.
We are ready?
I'm ready. On time.
But I've been your hardcore gamer host, Andrew. You can find me on Xbox Live at Firebird0952.
I've been Keith.
You're skating on out of here.
And I'm Aaron, and I'm always on time.
And I'm ready. Anyway, we love you all. We'll see you again next week.